AEAC is made possible by Air Venturi, Hawksport Optics, Diana Airguns, FX Airguns, Pro Air Federation, Air Arms, Sports Match Rings UK, H&N Sport Pellets, Air Marksman Airgun Accessories, and JSB Predator Pellets. And you guys know the best way to thank them. All right, buckle up, guys. We are in the Bullet Central booth with John Tueller, Director of Operations for FX USA and also FX Outdoors Group.
Yep.
And today we are going to get you through the brand new FX Panthera as well as FX's
the new chronograph.
Which is called
the FX Outdoors True Ballistic.
The True Ballistic Chronograph.
I'm very excited about it.
All new, super cool tech. I'm freaking out looking at this thing.
Yeah.
And then we're going to bring in Zach from Bullet Central to walk us through a new magazine you guys are
they're doing
on?
some cool little aftermarket stuff for the Impact. And they're doing some cool stuff. Newer dealer, but they're starting to create and add to what FX is. So
I like it. It looks like it's going to be a good fit for you guys.
Yeah, these guys are great. Yeah, we'll talk about them later. But good fit.
Take it away.
Well, the Panthera. Obviously, last month we announced it.
Whoa, everywhere. Boom.
Out of the blue. What's the cool thing is you got to think about it. It's the first new rifle since the Crown, if you think about it. The last few years, it's really been improvements too.
Yep.
This is a brand new breech block. It's the dynamic block. And it's basically, this is the first rifle using that dynamic block. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
But purpose-built and a lot of changes on that.
Purpose-built for whom and for what?
Yeah, so purpose-built, first of all, this is a dedicated slug rifle. There is a smaller version that kind of does light slugs and pellets, but we're building it for slugs. Even the magazine itself is a bigger magazine, 2 millimeters more, so we're going to be able to accept longer projectiles.
So it's deeper.
Yeah, and everything comes with heavy liners. When I say purpose-built, so outside just being a slug rifle, this is, as you can see, it's a competition rifle. Mm-hmm. What's been happening over the last couple of years, people have been taking their Impacts, even some Crowns, and have been going to like NRL, PRS matches.
Yes, I've seen that.
Because now that we have power where you're pushing the right slug at the right speed, basically what people have been seeing is like, oh, we got similarities between this and a 22 LR. Mm. What we want to do, last year the tension barrels came out, the power block, and the big thing, we hit that benchmark of a 40 grain slug shooting at like 10, 40 feet per second, basically getting the range of what was needed for precision.
You're right there with the rimfire guys.
And so kind of ran with that and made that, like I said, purpose-built for competition. Mm-hmm. Now the cool thing about this, because this isn't a bullpup, and the big thing with non-bullpups has always been, where do I put the plenum in? Because as we know, to get that power, you need a big plenum. So no plenums.
Okay.
The plenum...
I'm looking.
Because usually on a standard sporter stock gun, the plenum has to be squeezed into the action somewhere.
Yes.
The plenum is right here over the barrel.
Whoa! It wraps around the barrel.
Correct.
Wait, so how far up does the plenum go?
On this one, there's actually different sizes depending on the menu.
Gracious.
This one is up to here.
What the heck?
I'm actually blinking. It's 170 something cc. It's a big ass.
Yeah, I'll put it up on the screen, so don't worry about it. I'll look it up
we got the plenum wrapped around the barrel. The barrel is going through it, and that way we have the space. The action can be the action. There's the power plenum, providing the power plant on it.
Yeah.
And that frees it up, so you can have a sporter stock that has all the power, actually more power than the Impact.
Can I jump in for a second?
Absolutely.
So if we have some new air gunners here watching, or even guys that are at NRL, PRS, and want to figure this out, the plenum is basically your air gun's lungs. It's where that pellet or slug takes its gulp of air from to launch it down the barrel. So it needs to be big, and these guys have integrated it into the barrel, which is mind-blowing.
A happy accident on that. You now have pressure wrapped around that barrel, and it makes it completely rock solid. Because it's still a free-flowing barrel.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
But you have
stabilized
basically 60% of it pressurized air gripping it. Mm-hmm. And I know there'll be comments that's like, well, what about pressure changes as you shoot? Because it's regulated, this has the same pressure shot after shot, so you don't get any point of impact shifts. So that's the big new technology. And they're really going to open things up for the idea you can have a sporter stock with the plenum. I mean, you can kind of forecast ahead. And
I was just thinking, I was going to ask you, but I figured you're not going to tell me anyway if I ask you, but I can see this being just a whole new bit of DNA for the whole FX lineup.
It's gonna be really interesting to see what comes.
How compact you can get stuff.
Yeah.
Because normally it lives like back here, or it's longer, or
Right.
it's bulkier.
Or Ernest builds it down here.
Yeah, right. That guy just wants it bigger. They don't care where it is as long as it's bigger.
So, and here's the other thing when I say purpose-built, because the idea, you got to have the plenum size, but then you got to match that to valving. There's a really efficient valve in there. It's very small, compact, it's all balanced, and then obviously it's still a regulated gun with adjustable regulator, and impact owners are going to love this. You can see on there, it's still got the quick tune system that was so brilliant on the M3.
The QTS is awesome.
It actually shoots like the Impact. It's the same throw of the Impact, kind of the feel of it.
Yeah.
So you get all that control because you got to match the plenum size to the valving, to the pressure, and what we're finding is we're able to get a 40 grain slug at 1040, but on the Impact, we have to use an 800 millimeter barrel. This is a 700 millimeter.
And this is a 700.
Yep.
Will this come with a longer or shorter barrel? Like maybe they don't want to compete with it.
Yeah, so there's a
hunting
600 and a 500.
Aha. Okay.
So the 600, you're just losing a little bit of runway, but you're still, what we're finding on the competition side is a lot of guys are gravitating towards the 34 grain because you can still shoot those at, anywhere from 1020 to 1070 and get the BC. The BC is very similar between that and the 40 grain. And then maybe you only want to use the 600 if you don't want to use the 700. And then of course this is 22 cal for the guys who want to do the NRL PRS. This is in 25 and 30 cal as well,
okay.
and 177. But a lot of the talk is because it's competition, right?
Yeah.
And when I say competition, the big thing, by putting the power source at the back,
yep.
and we're very straightforward with this. Competition rifle, we know that's only 300 cc's. It's a lower shot count,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
That's fine. We know that because in a competition, you need 10 to 12 shots per stage. Depending on how you have this tuned, you're getting between 15, 20, 30. I mean, for a competition, you're probably going to be between 15 and 20 shots. And that's done on purpose because then you don't have to have the air up here. So if I have a ladder stage, I have that narrow profile to get through.
Yes.
Things.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's such a dynamic game in that PRS. I can see why you guys took it in this direction. And if I may, some rumor control.
Sure.
So when you said that this was purpose built, where my mind went to was not to just compete in PRS, but you're looking to win and dominate. And I've heard rumors of this gun showing up strategically at various events, and the guys and gals who are shooting there competitively and at the top of their game kind of had an oh doo-doo moment when you put this in your hands and they were shooting.
Yeah, you're right. There's a couple of things with it because obviously from the aesthetics, we build in the way. If you're shooting, you want to have, you can add weights. Actually, there's weights can go underneath the barrel shroud. Weights here, all your little accessories that people want. So you can get your nice balance point for your barricades and the weight, because when you're shooting, if you have a heavier gun that's very, it thumps and it sits, right?
Yes.
So you're able to do all that. And then the big thing, and why I think our plan is to have this gun start winning those matches, because here's the difference between this and your high-end precision 22 LRs. Because it's regulated, because I have the control and the barrels and all those things, I can get my standard deviations very, very tight. Tighter than
a long rifle.
22 LR, the guys know this. It's like you kind of get stuck. The ceiling is like 10, right? You really can't get below 10.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll bet you I could tune that to 2, maybe less. Because all these FX guns, you can tune them into the 2s easily, and if you're willing to put in some time and pellets, you can get into the 1s.
We're saying you can get between 1.0 and 2.0.
Yep, totally.
The other day we were shooting this, and we thought the chronograph might be broken because 7 duplicates in a row.
Yeah.
And it was like, plug it out, plug it back in. Let's just make sure. But it's like, it's that. And again, there's still the tuning aspect, and I love the tuning videos you do because people need to learn that, especially if you're coming from the firearms into something like that. Mm-hmm. There's a learning curve, but the payoff, and I think that's what is starting to click for those competitors, is that's a huge competitive advantage.
Yeah, it is. So. And there's big money on the line. And what was our last Rocky Mountain Air Gun Challenge? What was grand prize there?
It was $20,000.
$20,000. Yeah. That's the solar system we play in Airgun land?
Yeah, that was Boyd Linder, who was a previous, he still shoots some rifle PRS type stuff. But I remember talking to him, he said, now that I'm doing air guns, I'm winning, where before I was just competing.
Right.
Clearly he won, so he's a fan.
It'll just be nice to see the cross-blending of the cultures. And so come on over on our side, guys. The water is mighty fine over here, because we're definitely going to be tromping around in your neck of the woods with these toys.
Yeah, so that's the Panthera. They are shipping heavily now. It would have been shipping 30 days ago, except for one item. The grip was
Yeah, the grip held you up. That's
been on
that's
our floor for
unfortunate.
25 days.
Oh,
But
okay.
they're shipping now, so by the time people see this, they are going to be out there. Because I know a lot of people, we had some initial ones out to the guys we work with, and I get it. Everyone's like, well, let me wait till I see it in actual shooters' hands, which totally get that. That's fine. We are extremely confident of how this is going to
Okay.
result.
Looking forward to
Yeah.
it, man.
Yeah.
We want to bounce over
Yeah,
that
so
chronograph.
speaking of
I'll
ballistics,
take
right?
this. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Roll.
okay. Let's
Okay.
talk ballistics. Let's talk chronograph.
Okay.
Because no one knows the need for a chronograph more than an airgun, right?
Right.
But this is also true in firearms and things like that. And there's been there's tools out there that reviewers like yourself have used, right? What does everybody use?
Lab Radar or the FX Pocket Chrony
Right.
or a Pro Chrono Digital.
Yeah, those are
big
kind of
three,
the
I'd
tools
say.
out there.
Yeah.
I know I've used some of those before, and there's limitations. The FX one's great, but that's a subsonic kind of chronograph, right? The goal is, and the reason we built this is for firearm, and anyone who needs a chronograph, but the idea of this is basically, first of all, it's going to work constantly. I'll leave it at that. This will work. That's bullet point number one.
Is it a Doppler radar test?
It's a Doppler radar.
Okay.
Here's the thing. First of all, you don't have to set your range, meaning you don't have to say, I'm shooting this sonic range. It'll
Like
go
with the Lab Radar, I have to do
You
that.
can go from 400 feet per second up to, we know about 4,200. No one's really tested those crazy neck-down bullets. We have someone going to try it, but for sure 4,200. You don't have to set it. You don't have to have a trigger. So whether it's quiet or loud, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be triggered to act.
Oh, so there's no microphone.
No
It just,
mic.
when it sees it, it goes,
Right.
oh, okay, there it is, grab it.
So it'll do all calibers. Anything from 400 feet per second higher, it's going to trigger it. And then what happens is when it shoots, it's doing multiple readings and it's calculating your ballistics and it'll display it. So what you're going to do is you're going to set your model for your projectile. It's going to shoot, and then based on the conditions you have, it'll list what your BC is.
Can I speak to that real
Yeah.
quick? So a huge pet peeve of mine with the Lab Radar, and God bless it, I love it, is that microphone. You have to set it so sensitive so that it can hear an air gun through a moderator,
Right.
that the lightest little wind will trip it when I'm trying to make a video. But this, there's no need for that. It's just the Doppler radar sees it, it registers it, and you're done.
And then on top of that, battery inside has a 12-hour charge, USB-C charging. So you
Nice.
have to put batteries into it or externally battery. What you see here is this folds in on itself. But it's basically so you can unfold it, you can put it on the table.
So this isn't a prop, this comes with it.
Yep.
Cool.
You basically just kind of.
Is this like a prototype, or is this what they're going to look like?
This is the prototype. They're in production, and they're coming out in April.
And can you say the name again, because I've already forgotten.
FX
them.
Outdoors. Because it's under the FX Outdoors, that's because this will work for air guns, but it'll work for any projectile, right? So FX Outdoors group. So it's FX Outdoors True Ballistics Chronograph.
True ballistic. So bow and arrow, BB guns, powder burners, you name it, it's going to...
No Nerf, but yeah,
No
400
Nerf.
feet per second.
And the wind doesn't matter and the lighting doesn't matter.
Correct.
Can I get an amen?
Yep. The idea, you can put it on there on a table, or you can. There's the adapter for you can screw it into a
Oh
mount.
yeah, like a camera
Yeah,
mount.
You can do the mount.
Tripod.
You can put it in a
Quarter-inch adapter is what it looked
Yep.
like. Nice.
And it works with the same FX radar as the other.
And is it just Chrony data, or will it track the projectile from muzzle to target and give you the speed along the way?
So that's how it's basically doing the BC. It's taking multiple readings, and it's showing it. As far as what's showing, because we just got these last week.
Okay.
So I'll know soon. But the idea with the app, I know it's doing the same thing where you can do your shot string, store your data, stuff like that.
Okay.
So everything is great about the current pocket radar. Just with
So answers forthcoming on that. But
yeah. So that's really cool.
do we have a price point?
It's going to be under $1,000.
Okay.
Not sure more than that.
Okay. And approximately when?
Mid-April, so Q2.
Spring.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Just in time for summer,
Just
baby.
to actually
For
go out and
you,
shoot.
for you Yanks. All right.
What else? Oh, let's get Zach. in
Zach?
there. So I got to tell you,
Yeah.
Bullet Central are a newer dealer of ours. These guys are, for you guys who shoot precision rifles, a lot of guys know Bullet Central because you guys that's your DNA. They're doing their custom builds, ELR, PRS, really accurate rifles, what they do. And now that air guns are really very similar, you guys got added on. And what I love about Bullet Central, you guys are starting to create stuff.
Yeah.
And I love it when people create third-party accessories for Impact and our other rifles.
Yeah.
Guys, this is Zach, by the way, International Sales Manager for Bullet Central. And you're perfectly in the frame right there, brother.
Okay, perfect.
The floor is yours.
Oh, well, yeah, so came on as an FX dealer and we started seeing, how we could innovate and take it to the next level and things that we really like to do. And one of the big things is, I believe 3 people at the office is left-handed. And
freaky lefties.
And when shooting a mag with it in our face during competition and practicing, we had to do something about this. So
I will say one of the number 1 complaints of any gun that comes out. By the way, Panthera is ambidextrous. Let me just say that quick, because cocking lever reverses, cheek reverses. So.
And the funny thing is, the brains behind.
Frederick is a lefty.
And so is Johan. So the engineers and the owners of FX.
But leave it to a dealer to fix. Show us the mag. This is really cool.
Great job, Zach.
So we came out with the plate down here, the lefty plate and the conversion kit. So it'll be sold together with the mag. And then we decided we had to come out with a mag here.
I'll hold the gun if you want to show them the mag, because wow, that thing is slick.
Yeah, so the mag, you got a
it's a little lid with magnets, right?
Lid with magnets, yeah, thank you. And we ended up doing a bearing design with a constant force spring. And I tell you what, this is buttery smooth.
So you get the same tension throughout.
Same tension the whole way throughout.
Yes, that's huge.
From front to beginning. And then the little shark tooth here, I call it, where the pellet lines up before it goes into the barrel.
Right.
We change the angle there, so that way when your the other shark tooth comes to the other shark tooth, you have a perfect circle that capsulizes that pellet.
I have a question.
Slug. Yeah.
So would it be fair to say that constant tension spring technology, will that contribute to accuracy? Because I can kind of see that.
Yeah, it'll contribute to accuracy, especially when you're getting down to the last couple rounds. In the spring, in the FX mag, there's a lot of tension at the very end.
Yeah.
And this will be just even throughout.
Wow.
Very cool idea.
Yeah, it almost like it'll set those guys at ease that are worried about, like, I gotta have a single shot tray instead of a magazine.
Yeah,
That's really slick.
So Chris and the team at Bullet Central have been really working hard on this, and we're looking to go full production mid-February with them.
Yeah, so the prototype, it'll be anodized.
Yeah, it'll be anodized, and we'll have some different colors for the guys out there.
So February 24. Or next month.
Next month.
Next
month.
Okay,
so
that's really quick.
We don't want to show things and wait a year.
Just kidding, psych.
So next February.
In dollars, what are you thinking?
Coming up. We're roughly thinking for the conversion kit for the lefties, which is the bottom plate and the mag, it'll be about 150, and then the mag will be right around 100, 110.
And for additional mags.
Yeah, for additional mags.
And would it be fair to say this is probably just the beginning for you and
there's actually other stuff on this gun.
Okay,
these guys are hustling. So I know you did some stuff with the barrel, right?
Yeah. So we got a carbon fiber tensioner and shroud kit. So we essentially took the OD of the sleeve that goes over the barrel and made the tensioner across that, and then also put a shroud kit over the top, and then an air stripper and a lock on the back end. So that way, the rigidity in the barrel stiffens completely.
Yeah, it's kind of their take on that tensioning.
Yeah.
But kind of the full size thing.
And we collabed with Newman Buck at 910 Tuning Repairs.
Yep.
We did a pressure point trigger shoe with him. We're doing a short throw cocking handle that will be coming out as well.
What is your website if they want to look at these things?
So yeah, www.bulletcentral.com is our website. And BC Custom is the tab they're going to want to look under, and we are kind of adding stuff almost every 2 months. We're coming out with a new product that really kind of innovates.
It's cool because I know Zach and Chris, who's the kind of owner behind Bullet Central, they're avid air gunners, and that's where it comes from, the passion of what can we do to make it better, push. A great newer dealer as Airgun keeps growing and another option for people there, which is awesome.
We've been a big help with the air gunners transitioning to the NRL, the PRS, because we do that on the powder burner side and have a vast knowledge on shooting positionally, what you need to get set up, your ballistics, how you positionally shoot, what you need to know, your drops.
That's where my thoughts were going, and if I may ask for them, who is Bullet Central?
Like, who are we?
Not like, you know, like you're not just a bunch of airgunners. Like, where do you come from? What's your area of expertise?
So what's cool about Bullet Central is we really touch a vast market and a vast knowledge source. So from our owner being a bench rest shooter to our airgun tech being a guy that's been around PCPs for forever, from Luke, our machinist, being a bench rest to long range bench rest to all the way to PRS, and ended up winning a 2-day PRS match. That's a small group of people that'd be in there. Myself being an avid hunter, long range shooter, and getting into PCPs just head first.
I'll toot their horn for them.
Yeah, too.
Because
I'm brewing another question
through Matt Dover on his firearm side of things. And like, these guys are the guys who do they're the importer for the Bixen anti-trigger, which is, in my opinion, like, that is the hot shit trigger. And then they do the bat machine actions. They make their own barrels. So we've done a bit, you know, we're doing GRS rifle stocks on the FX Outdoors group, and we've gotten a lot of builds from them to drop in GRS. And it's interesting because GRS is Oscar from Norway, you know, former military sniper, and when he's using it and going, crap, you know, then you know it's something. It's we're very impressed with what they're doing on the firearm side. So
here's the question I'm after. Down that bunny trail, when you're not making stuff for air guns, what are you guys manufacturing? Like, where do people know you by? The firearms industry.
Yeah, the firearms industry would know us from our Micron precision dies. So our reloading dies are hands down the best die on the market, the most concentric, the most straight. And now we just launched our new press, our reloading press, which is going to be coming out to market here soon. And
I'd say then the barrels, the bat action, the Bixen anti-triggers.
And putting together builds and then doing our own pre-fits so people can buy them off the shelf, or a guy like the FX group and John can come in and say, you know, give me this.
We need this build.
Now I got a feel for you. Now I feel like I know you. Zach, thanks, man. Really appreciate your time. Welcome to the family. And John, thanks for walking us through your new toys. And,
Absolutely.
Appreciate the introduction. All looks amazing.
All right. Awesome.
Have a great show.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you as well.
Thank you.